Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining. It's a pleasure to have all of you here today. In this webinar, The Dynamic State of Medical Health Coverage, we'll take a look at a brief overview of the whys, the hows, the whats, of health coverage that businesses might offer, that businesses or agencies might offer their employees. Now, health benefits are a pretty complex topic, okay? There are a lot of different versions. There are a lot of different styles that they come in. We're going to try to summarize the whole thing with a brief overview. Now, the subtopics that we'll be covering are as follows. First of all, what kind of benefits the businesses offer? Typically when asking around, what benefits, what kind of benefits package an employer offers an employee, chances are for every 100 people you ask, a good likelihood you'll get about 100 different unique answers. So we're going to try to break down all the different variations categorically. Next, a focus on health benefits. Within the realm of employee benefits, health benefits don't get any less diverse than the other benefits, right? They don't get any less diverse than perks. They don't get any less diverse than any kind of benefit a business can offer. Health benefits are just as diverse. So we're going to take a look at the basic framework for a health benefits plan. Next, we're going to look at why benefits are offered. Here we're going to take a step back. We'll look at the typical goals a business or agency has in mind when offering benefits to employees. This will basically be like a prelude to the next and final topic of developing a health benefits package. Now, the key focus of this topic, developing a health benefits package, will be basically a focus on strategies that businesses or agencies use for cost containment. Now, in other words, once we understand the goals that a business has, in mind when issuing benefits, we'll take a look at how the issuance of benefits can actually achieve those goals in a cost-efficient way. Now, let's take a look at the categorical benefits a business might offer. Okay, because there's retirement packages, there's paid vacation, there are health packages. Let's take a look at how these benefits are defined. Okay? Now, all benefits are really subs of three overall parent categories. We'll call them families, okay? First, there are legally required benefits. Then there are optional benefits. And then there are perks. Now, let's take a look at, the subcategories that are found within these overall umbrella families of benefits. Let's take a look at the legally required benefits. Okay, a company is legally required to offer the following benefits. First, there's unpaid medical leave. If an employee has to take off for medical reasons, a company is legally required to grant that. There are a lot of different laws involved. A lot of them vary by state, by industry, by size of business. But as a general rule, a business has to grant an employee unpaid medical leave. Okay, the business has to allow the employee to take off. They don't have to pay them, but they have to allow the employee to take off. Next, there's overtime. A business has to pay an employee for working overtime. Again, this varies by type of employment contract, the occupation, the salary range, etc. But as a general rule, an employer is legally required to pay an employee for overtime hours put in. Next, there's Social Security benefits. Social Security benefits, at least at the employer level, is the requirement for the employer to pay a tax on behalf of the employee. Now, the dollar value of that tax is calculated as a percentage of the employee's income. And then the benefits come back to the employee in the form of retirement income. Okay, the dollar amount changes based on federal regulations. For example, 2011 actually, Congress enacted a cut to the rate that employees are required to pay It was 6.2%. It's now down. For 2011, it's down to 4.2%. But at the same time, the employer's liability for Social Security taxes is still the same. It's still 6.2%. The bottom line is that an employer has to contribute a specified amount on behalf of each of their employees to the Social Security system. There's the Medicaid system also. There's a Medicaid tax as well. But let's just focus on the Social Security. Okay. Next, there's unemployment, the unemployment benefits. At the employer level, again, it comes in the form of a tax that the employer has to pay on behalf of the employees. This tax is also calculated using principles similar to Social Security benefits. For example, the rates are based on the wages the employee earns, etc. But the benefits come back to the employee with certain restrictions in the event they lose their job. And also, with unemployment benefits, the requirements will always vary by state, by size, business size, other parameters. But again, as a basic guideline, employers are legally required to pay a tax on behalf of their employees. Okay, as an extension of unemployment insurance, although it's not officially part of unemployment insurance, there's COBRA, but we're going to leave that alone for now. Okay. Next, we have workers' compensation, workers' comp. Okay, a business is required to pay for an employee, an employee compensation in the event the employee incurs a work-related injury. Okay, generally it comes in the form of paying, taking out workers' comp insurance. The business will wind up paying like just an insurance premium, but that's overall that's workers' comp. Again, there's laws involved. They vary by state, besides business, but that's the general rule. Finally, we have unpaid family leave. Okay, it's similar to unpaid medical leave, but geared more for childbirth, family members' medical needs, etc. Okay, this is basically the rough overview of legally required benefits. Okay, let's go ahead and look at some of the optional benefits. Okay, optional benefits are they're really limitless, but let's look at some more common optional benefits. One of the most common benefits, optional benefits that businesses issue are pension and retirement benefits. Okay, some businesses might offer pensions, 401ks, profit sharing plans, stock purchase plans, defined contributions, etc. Okay, sometimes the employer pays on behalf of the employee. Other times it's the other way. At times both the employer and employee pay alongside each other. They come in all shapes and sizes. But for now, the general benefit is a plan where an employee receives some form of benefit at retirement. Now again, there are lots of laws regarding eligible withdrawal triggers, tax exemptions, beneficiaries, etc. But we'll leave that up. We'll leave that for financial advisors. Let's just focus on the basics. Next, there are health benefits. This is also a more popular optional benefit that businesses and agencies offer employees. This is basically where an employer pays for an employee's health insurance. This benefit also comes in a lot of different forms. Again, sometimes the employer pays the employee's health insurance premiums. Sometimes the employee pays the full premium, and the only benefit the employee receives would be a reduced group rate. And also this is subject to certain laws, namely COBRA, but that's the basic outline. Next, another common optional benefit is life insurance. Life insurance is structured with the same framework that health insurance is, only it benefits the employee, not the employee themselves, but the employee's beneficiary. And it benefits the beneficiary as a compensation in the event of the employee's death. Another benefit, optional benefit that businesses and agencies sometimes offer is what's called employee assistance programs, or EAPs. EAPs are basically a program where employees going through difficult emotional periods will have some form of access to consultation. But again, that's basic. But again, the scope and size and a lot of other variables will depend on the employer. Another optional benefit is what are called flexible spending accounts. At times, an employer might decide to set up a tax-deductible savings account. Right? This comes off the employee's gross this comes off the employee's gross pre-tax, where the employee can contribute and keep it in the account for qualified expenses. Again, there are a lot of laws involved in this, but that's the basic. Finally, there are fitness programs. An employer might provide fitness benefits to the employees where they have either fully or partially paid membership to fitness and, sometimes other recreational activities. Now, flexible spending accounts, employee assistance programs, and fitness benefits are usually offered alongside health benefits, and we'll take a look at why in a few minutes. These benefits are offered for a specific purpose, with a specific end goal in mind. Okay. Let's take a look now at some perks. Okay. Now, business perks are virtually limitless. Aside from the creativity of the benefits developer, now business perks also, they might seem frivolous, especially to the cost-conscious HR, but they're definitely offered and with a specific goal in mind. We'll look at that in a bit, but for now, let's take a look at some of the more common perks. Okay, the most popular perk is, paid vacation/sick days. Okay, this is as simple as it sounds. Employers will offer employees X amount of vacation days, paid vacation days, X amount of paid sick days. Another perk that's sometimes offered is a stock purchase plan. This is primarily a perk where employees can purchase stock of the company at times with a tax incentive, at times at a discount to the market value of the stock. This type of perk is usually used as an incentive vehicle. Okay. Another perk that's sometimes offered is reimbursement for relocation expenses. Another perk would be child care. At times, the business or agency might provide their own on-site child care. At times, they'll offer to pay for an employee's child care expenses, etc. It's another more traditional perk that's found. Another perk sometimes found is food and beverages. Employers sometimes provide food and beverages to the employees. And again, we're going to take a look at why businesses might want to offer such benefits. But again, it's sometimes, it's a common perk that is found. Another perk that's found is commute. Sometimes an employee might elect to pay for an employee's travel expenses. But by the way, let's just not confuse this with legally required travel reimbursement that we have, where the reimbursement the business is required to pay for business travel expenses. Okay, the commute expense reimbursement perk is basically an optional expense reimbursement that employers might offer to pay for an employee's travel expenses from home to work and back. For example, Metro cards or bus passes. Again, sometimes it's sometimes tax deductible, sometimes not. Okay. Now, these are some of the more common perks, but again, there are some pretty creative benefits administrators out there. Okay, I mean, you'll find perks where you'll find work from home days, pizza Fridays, bring your dog to work days, etc. Okay. Now, some of these perks might seem to be an absolute waste, but again, there's a specific goal in mind when they're offered, and we'll take a look at what that goal is in just a minute. Now, let's take a closer look at health benefits. Okay? Again, health benefits are within the optional benefits family.